Welcome into the Marvel Stuff Podcast, and like we do every single week, we're going to talk about the Puppy Bowl. A lot of big plays, a lot of cute dogs. It was a lot of fun. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I missed it this year. Sorry to report.
Well, you guys are probably some of those losers who are watching the Super Bowl. Is that what I'm?
Must have been it. We're also co-streaming with the Gotham City Rogues because I figure we're talking about the Flash. So
Oh yes, I do love
a couple
the
of
Flash.
fans over there. You also enjoy this.
So if you guys know those, you know I'm Coach. You know that was Josh. But joining us today, we've got a good friend, David. Want to say hi?
Hello.
Oh, we love David from the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, of course. He's super awesome. He's super fun, and he's super excited to talk about at least a couple of these trailers.
You forgot one thing, though.
You forgot something.
I'm also from the Multiversal Snyderverse podcast.
I didn't realize that was a Snyderverse podcast, but
also has really cool
in
glasses.
the multiverse and another.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say I'm like a little bit offended. I wasn't invited to be on a DC multiverse podcast. I would smash it. And I believe that is Adi Douglas. You just typed in saying, "Is this the Super Bowl ad recap pod?" Normally he makes the joke, but this time, yes, it is.
As a matter of fact, that is exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl ads, really. I mean, I'll give you both 12 seconds to discuss the Super Bowl, and I'll cut you off before you even start, so go ahead.
Daddy Mahomes.
No one cares. No one cares. If you wanted to listen to football stuff, listen to it somewhere else. We do love football, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Everyone knows the commercials are the second best part of the Super Bowl behind the food. And we're also
wait a minute, is that the sport where they score like 3-pointers with like pigskin?
I love it. Yes.
Well, technically, sometimes if you kick a field goal, it's also 3 points. So yeah. You're at least marginally right.
I know, but we do get wings and barbecue.
Harrison Butker couldn't hit one during the game. Made it a lot closer than it needed to be. Anyway, nope. Coach definitely muted himself before he kept talking football is what happened.
Well, I was trying to cut you off, but then I decided it was mean, so I muted myself. All right, let's talk about the ads. We got a lot of fun ones. But is there any commercial you saw that wasn't a movie trailer that you thought was really funny and worth giving a shout out before we
sign me out? Oh, Ben Affleck, Dunkin' Donuts. I don't care. That made me happy. That's good stuff.
I liked the roast of Mr. Peanut.
The roast of Mr. Peanut was good.
There's only like one good joke in it, but
they got the roast guys, Jeff Ross and a couple of the other ones. I forget their names. Nina, whatever her name is. She's funny.
I did like the Miles Teller dancing to the whole music commercial. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
That whole music is so iconic. I've been listening to it. It feels like for the past 20 years.
And
you call Bud Light often?
Everyone likes a good Bud Light too, which is always good.
Sam Adams guy today, so get right.
I do love Bud Light. Someone commented the Tubi commercial where it pretended to shut your thing off. Kind of stole that from She-Hulk, if we're being honest.
They did steal that from She-Hulk. If you guys didn't watch it on Disney Plus, definitely go watch that. Also, Tubi was on a tear for the Super Bowl. They had 3 or 4 ads with the weird giant
Tubi?
bunny.
Yeah.
Tubi is a free streaming service. I have it on my TV. I think I've only watched 2 movies on it.
It's like Pluto.
But, yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, Pluto and Tubi are the same thing, pretty much. You have to give them your email, and that's about it. Then you make a password and account. It's completely free. It has ads, but they got an okay catalog. I think I watched Mallrats on Tubi, if I remember right, some Kevin Smith stuff.
I was all over that commercial. As soon as they started talking, I was like, they're not talking about anything in this game.
No. I could tell it was one of those weird ones.
It definitely caught my wife, though. My wife did the classic, what are you doing? Why are you switching it? I was like, I obviously have nothing in my hand. It's just the TV trick. It's fun. So I got her, didn't get me, but did make me laugh a little bit.
Well, I watched it from my iPad because I'm a cheap boy and don't do cable, so I really didn't fall for it because I don't have a remote to my iPad, so it was fine.
That is a good excuse. All right, well, let's jump into the movie trailers then. Hold on a second.
All right, I'll mute you, and then we're going to jump into it. So,
I watched it on
YouTube
TV. I was going to say, and I think the base package for YouTube TV is something like $60 a month. Then if you want 4K, you pay another $20. So I started doing that for the World Cup, and then I said, well, after the Super Bowl, I'm just going to cut it off. So that's what I'm going to do. But now YouTube TV is going to be the home of the Sunday Ticket. They took it from DirecTV.
Oh. Yeah, YouTube TV. They also had an ad. They're making moves. That I'm still not going to sign up for it because I pay for enough stupid services. I don't watch enough actual cable. The only thing I miss out on is football and Paramount and Peacock put together.
And you can watch the recaps on YouTube the next day. I mean, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, but the next day it doesn't matter for my fantasy team, so I'm definitely not doing that.
Okay, well, yeah.
That makes a big difference. I do love fantasy football. Yeah, let's jump into some movies here. We'll start with the Marvel one because we are the Marvel Stuff podcast. It didn't do a whole lot of new information, but the Guardians trailer dropped. I want to say it was like the third quarter maybe, or over halftime, I think it was somewhere in that range. It was... Mm-hmm. It had like one bit at the beginning that was new, and then it sort of rehashed.
Well, I like the Batista sitting on the couch thing. That was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was pretty good. But it does give us a little bit of the plot, right? This idea that he starts with, like, I met a girl, she died, and then she came back, and then she was...
Total dick,
which is a funny bit, and also...
They didn't do that one on the TV, though, right? That was the one they aired on YouTube. I don't think they're...
Yeah, I'm assuming we're talking about the one you had.
Yeah, the full trailer. I just wanted to clarify that. Like, one, it's pretty clever that people are like, hey, watch the full trailer online because they know how expensive ads are per second for the Super Bowl.
$7 million for 30 seconds.
Yeah, so they're just like, no, watch the rest of the trailer online. And it's been a pretty good strategy. Like, the Flash trailer's got like 3 million views or something like that already. And it's great.
Yeah, so that's the trailers we're talking about. Every trailer we talk about, assume it's
full
the full
trailer. Yes, correct.
From YouTube, not necessarily the one that came out in the game. So that's sort of what we learn about Guardians is that there's a little lost spark. I mean, I guess you could have guessed that, but it seems like it's a really lost spark. And even a weird little twist.
I was just going to say, the interesting twist where, like, maybe he's into Nebula now. I was like, I didn't really see that coming, but... Sure.
I didn't get that from the trailer, but
at the very end, they're like, he even looks at her funny.
Yeah, she goes, she goes, it sounds like you're describing her, and then he looks at Nebula, and he's like, oh, I just didn't realize how pretty your eyes are, or something like that.
Yeah, he kind of talks about, the full trailer, he flirts with her a little bit.
It's after the tagline. It's after, like, the title
after
screen
the title screen, and then it talks about your eyes are just he picked out a good set of eyes when he replaced them for torturing her or whatever.
Yeah, so that was weird. I don't know if I think they're gonna actually go that direction or if that's just like gonna be a single bit in the movie. But I don't know. Would I be disappointed? Who wants this new Gamora and Star-Lord to hook up?
I'm very disinterested in the love lives of the Guardians at this point. I was into like the Star-Lord and Gamora thing because they built it up right, but at this point it's just like, that's not Gamora, so I straight up just don't care. Anyone else can kind of do whatever they were going to do in the first place. You don't need romance in all your action movies. At least that's how I feel about it.
I know, but there's definitely going to be romance. So I would prefer it's with Gamora than with Nebula.
Really? I mean, the new Gamora? I don't know. The new Gamora is a dick.
It's the same Gamora.
Same Gamora. It's a different Gamora. Is Tobey Maguire the same as Tom Holland? No.
Snyder vs. David the same? No.
Yeah, he's way cooler. We get it. No, I'm pretty sure it is the same Gamora. It's just
from
she hasn't
the
met
past, them. Right? Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's not a multiverse thing. It's a weird time travel thing, which I think I hate more.
I kind of do hate more because then it doesn't quite make as much sense as if it's just a different version. I don't know. The movie does look good. I kind of like the evolution here. We get to see.
I'm excited for Will Poulter's Adam Warlock. I mean, sign me up. He's an angry baby. I'm into it. He's like a new being, and he starts out in like an adult body. I'm like, that's gonna be an interesting thing to kind of like watch happen.
Hashtag angry baby.
Yeah, he's gonna throw temper tantrums and stuff. Let's go. Also, he got jacked, and there was rumors that he was dating Florence Pugh, and I was like, man, they're both really good looking.
Yeah, there's two hot people. I like when hot people get what they want. I hate when poor ugly people get anything in life. They're the worst. I don't actually understand what his role in this movie is. Like, is he going to be connected to?
He's like the hammer of the weird golden
but what
hierarchy aliens.
Are they connected to the?
They're the adversary. I think they're the main adversary in this one. I think like there's some weird connection between like some stuff they've done or are going to do, or I think maybe they're even so petty from him stealing whatever he stole in the first movie that they're like they actively made like a god to take care of the Guardians. Well, like that would make me really happy if that's the real reasoning. There's like, oh, you did that thing one time, we're gonna destroy you and everything you love.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it seems like the whole plot is about this high evolutionary and like him torturing Rocket growing up. So like I don't see how they connect at all. Like right now it seems like
It'll make sense, the connection. I'm sure. I'm not pumped to see the tragic backstory of Rocket because it's gonna make me sad. Because it's just like torturing animals is not cool, and we're gonna see a lot of it, so that's gonna bum me out. But he'll probably get to kill him, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like over under 1.5 Guardians die. What do you guys think?
I'll take the over. Yeah, this is the last Guardians movie. Dave Bautista's already confirmed he's never coming back as his character, so they either kill him now or they just like send him off on his way, and then you never hear from him again. And then I gotta imagine at least one other one dies. I mean, it shows Star-Lord being dead kind of in the trailer with the classic Batman death in the family hold, but it's not gonna. I don't think that one's gonna stick. But I'll go 2 Guardians dying in this one, David, especially if you count like James Gunn's weird brother.
David, yeah, that's fair. David, you're the GM of death here. What do you think? How many people?
Man, it's tough to say, man. It feels like the trailer is building us up to see deaths in the Guardians, but it's possible that no one dies. I mean, it just might leave it wide open because I don't know if we've thought far enough ahead here. Maybe after the multiverse saga, they do like a intergalactic saga or something. They might need these characters back or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but like I feel like they've seen it as much as like the space guys aren't doing as well as like the main Marvel guys, but that could come around. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
Do you think they're introducing Adam Warlock so we see him in this phase or the next phase?
I think he's a next phase guy. I think he'll have like a fun appearance in this one, and maybe as he gets mentally older throughout this film, or he's left with something at the end of this one and he kind of disappears and he'll come back eventually type of thing. That's how I imagine they're going to use him.
Yeah, I think he'll come back around as a good guy and he'll get used to. I think he'll be interesting. I'm going to go the under as well, though. I honestly do think. I just think there's not enough team members to kill 2 of them. Though
Stallone's going to die.
He's not a Guardian.
He was though.
Yeah, he was. He's part of the. He's part of the. What are they called? The Ravagers.
Yeah. Avengers. Whatever. It's good. The trailer is okay. I think I'm excited for the movie enough. I'm obviously.
It didn't get me more excited for the film. I will say that. I mean, I was already pretty moderately excited for this one, and this trailer didn't do anything new for me. Other than the high evolutionary looks super creepy. He looks like iRobot kind of thing with a face stretch around the.
He looks like
plate.
RoboCop with the helmet on.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, the weird the face stretch connected to her.
If you ever played Detroit Become Human, the PS5 game, he seems like one of the characters in that.
Oh, that's great.
PlayStation 4 game. Sorry.
Great game.
When does Guardians drop? Is it
May 16th? May 16th, I think.
Okay.
No, because June 16th is The Flash. I think it's May 8th or something like that.
Okay.
Coach will vet me, but
I'll look it up right now. But I'm pretty sure it's right in the early summer.
So are you thinking for sure that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to make more money at the box office than Quantumania?
No.
I don't know if that's a for sure thing. I've in my talks with other people that are kind of they got their toes in the Marvel universe, but they're not super invested in it. They on the few people that I've talked to, they seem more excited for Quantumania, which threw me for a loop because I'm not I've historically not liked either of these franchises all that much compared to the other ones. So the fact that our next 2 big projects are both ones that I don't super care for is a bit of a bummer, but I think they're both going to be good.
Guardians is definitely the the bigger IP. It's the bigger name. It's got a ride at Disney World. It's got all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
and a video game.
I think the Kang thing is a big deal.
Well, it's just like they're doing like almost a reverse Thanos in a way. Thanos was teased out with little things here and there quite a lot, and we're getting like Kang had one cameo, and then he's the main villain of his next appearance. I think they're gonna be going. He's gonna go the distance as like the main villain of this whole phase, as we know, because he's already got an Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Jonathan Majors is a killer actor. I think that even retroactively, I think people are gonna really be into Quantumania. So maybe you're right at the box office. Guardians might beat it out. But if you show me the Disney Plus numbers, I think Quantumania might take it over. But we'll see.
I definitely think in the short term, like in their first 2 weeks, Guardians will have a much.
Guardians is going to make more because that's got like the kids behind it, really.
But the fact that Guardians is going to be up against Summer, and Flash and things like that.
They're a little early on Flash, but I think like what is it? Or when's Indiana Jones? I mean, that's another one that's semi.
I'm not going to talk about it. Does anyone have anything they want to say about Indiana Jones?
No, because I think I only watched the originals like once, and then I didn't watch Crystal Skull, so don't care. Sorry, I'm sure Colin Weaver from the Star Wars Stuff podcast would be really mad at me right now because he's
screaming at the screen right now. Yeah.
Yes, he is, but that's okay. Indiana Jones.
He cosplays as Indiana Jones now.
I know he does constantly. He's a big Harrison Ford stan, and I don't blame him. But yeah, Indiana Jones was not my bag. Give me Tomb Raider over Indiana Jones.
Yeah, the fact that Guardians is in the summer makes me think Quantumania might get to do a little bit of the Avatar thing, which is have no competition, and rack up a couple extra weeks of big money. So we'll see. It's a good question. Speaking of big movies that are coming out, let's talk about The Flash. I think that's the big headliner, definitely.
Well, let's hit a small one in between. Fast X. Any interest?
Oh, dude, I don't care about Fast X.
Does anyone care?
Does anybody care? Does anyone in the world still care?
Exactly. They make so much money still, dude. I don't understand why. They get all the biggest actors. They're like the action non-MCU universe. They just keep going. They keep churning it out. The physics get more and more ridiculous. The storyline gets more convoluted. All of a sudden, John Cena's his brother, which doesn't make any damn sense. All right. I watched a total of 2 Fast and Furious movies.
I had to look it up because I was curious.
Yeah, they went to space in the last one. So
yeah, I heard.
This one they're going to go to the quantum realm.
It looks like they're going to La La Land in Nowhereville. It's so
go to Candyland, actually. No, they're going to end up in a Mario Kart race at the end of this. They're going to Rainbow Road, baby. That's the only place left to go.
I would watch that.
Me too, honestly.
I was surprised we were making this, to be honest. So I looked it up just for fun right now. So Fast 7.
And it's a part 1, right?
I don't know if that's true. It might be, though.
Don't put that evil on us, dude. Fast 7, 1.5 billion. Fast
That's
8,
what I'm saying.
1.2. Here's the thing, though. Fast 9 barely broke 700 million.
Okay, but what year did that come out, though?
Fast 9. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Exactly.
Don't underestimate family, Coach.
COVID thing.
It's all about family.
It was a 2021 film.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm not saying that improves the quality at all.
People hated Fast 9. I'm just surprised. Like, usually when you have
people hate all of these movies, but they love them. There's this whole genre. There's this whole section of people that you and I don't associate with.
Transformers
that are obsessed with the Fast franchise.
And those people think there's like a connected universe. And they think it's like Marvel. And Vin Diesel does just enough to make them think that.
All right. Well,
that's why they keep on coming back.
Zombie Paul Walker. I'm never watching.
I'll tell you right now.
And then Brie Larson is in the film.
Brie Larson's
in the film. Momoa's in the film. They got DC. They got Marvel.
They got Alan Richardson.
Got to be better than DC and Marvel combined, right?
And then played Hawk in Titans and
Dad
in Blue Mountain State, and he's Jack Reacher. That guy's in it too.
There's a lot of weird that guys. Doesn't Jason Momoa just look like the worst? He looks.
They made his facial hair look so stupid. I'm like, how did you make a hot guy like look stupid? You made him look like a homeless bum. That's what you made Jason Momoa look like. Give me my goddess Aquaman back, or God Aquaman. I want the Adonis body with the sweet tattoos from the Snyderverse. Yeah,
I'm
that'll
calling
get
out.
the ladies going. This dumb facial hair isn't going to do it.
I'm gonna call. I don't think it makes $1 billion. I think it's a
It won't.
doo-doo movie.
Well, it's the last one, so I mean, people might
They
have
did
that
say
nostalgia
that, because
factor.
Vin Diesel had a huge campaign of trying to get The Rock back, and The Rock's like, dude, get bent. Because when he did the movie with Vin Diesel, they were like, it really hurt his reputation as like an actor, because they're both like machismo men, and they're like, oh, we gotta punch each other the same amount of time, we need the same amount of screen, and you can only knock me down for 3 seconds at a time. And it was in their contracts, brother. Yeah, Hulk Hogan on it. They did. No, that's literally what happened.
True. It is true. Yeah. They hate each other. They're both a little too.
But they brought literally everyone else back. They got Charlize Theron from, I don't know which one she was in, 8 or 9, and she's back too. They got Jason Statham's in it playing Hobbs. Everybody's coming back from the former ones, which is like cool for people that have been invested in it for a while. But this used to just be like a street racing franchise. Like, what the hell?
I know. I liked it. Honest to God, I liked the first like 5. I think I
watched Tokyo Drift, and then I watched Fast 5 in theaters. Maybe I watched Fast 6. I watched Fast 5 and 6, so I've seen 3 of them. They all
Too
suck.
Fast, Too Furious was like my movie. That was back when they had like, colorful cars and nitro.
Yeah,
and
with the neon lights on the bottom of the cars. Yeah, let's go back to that. That was cool.
I remember.
That was like early 2000s cool with the spiky hair and the puka shells. Like, take me back.
There's only one way to go back in time, and that's with the Flash, and that's exactly what he's going to do in this new Flash movie. Boom! Excellent segue. I'm a pro. Suck it.
I can't measure the hype that I have for this movie. Just the fact that like multiple reports prior to this trailer saying like this is going to be one of the greatest superhero movies of all time, and I actually kind of buy the hype. Yeah, James Gunn said it himself, and it's not even his movie, and he's just like, dude, I don't even care. This thing's awesome. It's going to be great. I mean, Ezra Miller had their problems, and that caused a lot of like drama plus COVID. There's a lot of things that have really gone against this movie. And I think the fact that it's endured all that means it's actually a quality film that people are going to enjoy. And yeah, I'm pumped.
I definitely think that's true. The fact that it still exists despite Ezra Miller being just one of the worst dudes, that shows that they really want this movie to come out because they know it's going to be absolute box office. And the trailer for sure hits that.
It looks sick. Yeah, the Super Bowl cut of the trailer was still cool because it had the Keaton reveal. Then the long one on YouTube, that was, it's even better. I love how the fact that we're getting 2 Batmen. We get Batfleck and Michael Keaton Batman. Like, sign me up for that. I Val Kilmer. Give me Val Kilmer back. I don't know. Get George Clooney. I don't care. I love Batman. Give me all of them. But actually, just the 2's good.
It's definitely going to be just the 2. This feels like, first off, you guys have never watched Flashpoint Paradox. Actually, this is a good question, Josh. Do you think, now that you see what this trailer is, then it's definitely going to be a lot of the same movie. Do you think people should go back and watch Flashpoint Paradox before watching it, or should they go into this live action one cold?
Yes, if they want some of the story spoiled. No, but I would recommend watching it after, because Flashpoint Paradox was the beginning of the DC animated universe, which turned into its own little franchise, and it's one of the best animated movies I've ever seen. It's adapted from the comic books, which the Flash doesn't have a whole lot of iconic storylines in the comics. He's involved in Justice League stuff, but Flashpoint's like the top of his list, the one that like everybody bought into. Like, this was the coolest Flash storyline. I'm so happy that we get to see this adopted into live action, or adapted, whatever. It's going to be awesome. David, I know you're pumped because you made it your cover photo on Facebook, and that's why I sent you this invite, and that's how we got you here. So
that's why you're here. Yeah, the Flash has been one of my favorite characters since I was a little kid. I had his action figure. I kind of made up.
John Wesley Ship fan, the original 80s? Yeah, or 70s.
I don't remember him. Dawson's dad from Dawson's Creek, right? I don't really remember that. It was maybe one of those core memories that got like covered by a bunch of other memories. But
I can say as a CW fan of the Grant Gustin show, that show is pretty great. I kind of fell off, but I'm gonna get back to it. It's a pretty quality show. Continue.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the Flash is just he's kind of like the tier right below, I think, Batman and the Trinity with DC. Wonder Woman and Superman. But I mean, the Flash is so cool. I mean, when you're a little kid, you're thinking you can run faster than anyone on the planet. And then when you read the comics and you learn about the comics, he can run around the world, go back in time, go forward in time. Not until I don't know what it was, but not until recently, I guess maybe like 10 years ago or so. I didn't realize that all the lightning effects and stuff happen around the Flash. When
Yep.
I always imagine the character, I just imagine the dude like running like really fast.
Well, you see the comic lines that they used to do behind him that would like make it a blur, and eventually the blur from his lightning bolts on his costume turned into real lightning. It's just the evolution of comic book characters, and I think in the CW show he ends up like nailing this lightning throw thing. Like he creates his own lightning and he's able to throw it like Zeus, and it's like it's cool. It's cool. I like Flash. Flash is dope.
Yeah, and so many people fell in love with Grant Gustin on the CW show, and that's cool and everything. And I thought, yeah, they could maybe bring him into the films, but they didn't. Of course, they selected Ezra Miller, who's a really, really talented actor. It's just unfortunate that he has all the stuff that all the laws that he's breaking behind the scenes there. I forgot all the charges he has, but like breaking and entering and slapping fans and confronting fans, and he's
something about talking with underage people. Yeah, Ezra identifies as they. It's a little bit complicated, but we're doing our best over here. Don't get mad at us. They're not a very
and I mean, and they filmed that film before most of the stuff I think happened. I think he had like a small charge before that. So of course, I mean, the WB is not just going to throw a film away, starring Michael Keaton as well. And everyone's
millions of dollars sunk into this movie, like so much money. There is no way that's going away.
It's making a bill and probably
it'll make a
bill and a half
for sure.
Yeah. And on top of all that, everyone that's seen it has said that it's one of the greatest films they've seen. James Gunn's already said he said it's one of the greatest comic book films he's ever seen. The trailer, if it lives up to the trailer, oh my god.
Just the trailer, the Batcave stuff. Like we get a Latina Supergirl. Like sign me up for that. She looks dope. The fact that like they switched her out with like the anorexic looking Superman from the Flashpoint Paradox. I'm like, yeah, I'm down for this. Like I don't even care. Like Supergirl is one of my favorite female characters in comic books, and she doesn't really get the love that she deserves a lot of the time. So getting to see her translated pretty well onto the big screen is it's really neat.
Yeah, my buddy actually, he made a post on Facebook. I'm going to read it right now. There's a certain point in the trailer where they do the whole action montage where you see a character. There's like a tornado on screen. I think I'll remember that part. But he posted this. He says, I guess this is just like his theory. He says, young Barry Allen doing a mid-air drop kick as current Barry Allen is pulling the Speed Force tornado with young Barry Allen knocking the Kryptonian soldier that's inside the tornado. And the young Barry Allen is using a refurbished bat suit for his Flash costume.
Yeah, that's confirmed. You can see the refurbished bat costume, I believe, on the original like images that they showed. Because our Flash is the one that went back in time to the timeline where his mother survived, and the Flash there never became the Flash because he never lost his mom. So now it's getting weird, complicated, but then they run into Michael Keaton's Batman. They repurpose one of his bat suits, paint it red, and I'm into that. Ezra Miller, like the double Barry Allen is going to be a really interesting thing as well. I think Coach said that's one of the things he's most looking forward to. So definitely sign me up for all that. I really want to see DC thrive some more because the Batman was a good turning point. I like how that's Elseworlds. It's not technically part of the franchise they're building here. I don't think they're ever going to measure up quite to what Marvel was, but like you got to remember, like Batman's still, I believe, still the most popular character in all of comic books and other medium. So you get him in a movie, you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah. It's such a weird position that DC's in because it's like they're going to have to change gears immediately because all that Snyderverse iconography is going to go away, essentially.
Which is a bummer because it was like it was promising, but also I'm like as a DC fan, I'm on board for the total reboot. You and I talked about this on a previous episode.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Here's the thing about this movie. I think that's interesting is, a lot of people thought the Flashpoint Paradox was going to be the reset, but I'm not sure that that's true.
Well, James Gunn said it is.
Well, he also said that Aquaman is going to lead into Superman Legacy. It's like, what?
That's what I mean. Do the characters at the end, when this movie ends, are there going to be any characters that are like actually the ones
from the Snyderverse?
Like, Well, no, not for the Snyderverse. Like from this movie, are there going to be characters from this movie who are going to be any of the characters that are in the new?
If Kara's a
DC
big
version?
hit, I don't see how you don't do something else with her. You know?
Yeah,
that makes sense. But like,
he's
that's
also
not gonna be
keeping
their Superman though.
James Gunn. Technically, the original Suicide Squad movies in the Snyderverse, and then he made the Suicide Squad, which was like a reboot sequel type of thing.
Yeah.
And he's keeping all of them. That's been confirmed. So John Cena's staying on as Peacemaker. Margot Robbie's staying Harley Quinn. They got Viola Davis to stay on as Amanda Waller. So there are a handful of like the DC characters that are sticking around. Some of the big losses were like, well, yeah, yes, his wife, which she's actually great in Peacemaker, so I'm not upset about that. But
yeah, she's really good.
Losing Henry Cavill's, it's a bummer, but I see what they're going. They're going for a different take on Superman, and I believe this is going to be Ben Affleck's last hurrah as Batman. That sounds like I think he's leaving, but there's rumors that he might be directing.
My point is, this feels more like, if I were to cut into a pie, it's more like a 90% the end of the Snyderverse.
Yes.
And 10% is going to be the start of the James Gunn universe.
1,000%.
Like that's what I feel like.
The
It doesn't feel like there's
Gunniverse.
going to be a lot. The Gunniverse. It's so I hate that there's going to be two. Now they have to like, whatever. I don't care.
Well, there's the main DCU is essentially what it's going to be. It's just like you got 20th Century Fox Marvel, and you got Sony Marvel, which I guess now are technically canon, but in the MCU.
All right. Anyway, so this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the differences between this and the Flashpoint Paradox because that's what I'm interested in. Because I've seen the Flashpoint Paradox. I'm assuming most of you
I've
that have
read the
listened to
Flashpoint
us.
Paradox. I've read the spin-off series about Batman and his Martha Wayne being the Joker. Flashpoint Paradox. Right. Definitely, like you're right. They're being inspired by that plot line, but there are a couple of key differences which
and that's what I want to hit on. I want to hit on those. So a little bit of spoiler if you've not seen Flashpoint Paradox and you don't want any of that knowledge to ruin our speculation.
Yeah, definitely skip it. A good 15 minutes probably.
But things I like you said, 2 Flashes. That's not really in the Flashpoint Paradox.
Nope.
It's just the one. So I think that's interesting. It's cool. I think the idea that like one has powers, one has to like get powers will be interesting.
I like there's a scene in the trailer where the other one's getting his powers though, which is super cool.
Which like if you watch the Flashpoint Paradox movie and in the comic, the way he gets his power, that's very cool. He just like sits in a chair and get lightning bolts concoction.
Mm-hmm. Because he
funny.
has to re-get his powers in that universe. Yeah, it's great.
So that's like an interesting little tidbit. Like you said, the Batman suit instead of the Anti-Flash suit is kind of cool.
Big difference. Probably the biggest difference is it is Michael Keaton playing old Bruce Wayne, not Michael Keaton playing Thomas Wayne.
How do we know that for sure?
Yes.
Pretty sure. Based on what? Sure. Based on what?
Based on what everyone says.
A logical assumption.
The fact that Michael Keaton was also Bruce Wayne in Batgirl, and then that was,
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't know for sure that this Michael Keaton is the Michael Keaton that we've seen in the Bat. That's the problem with.
He is. They have his Bat plane.
They do. That thing's cool. I love all that stuff.
It was destroyed though, so he has a new one, right?
All right. Well, if Tim Burton
and it wasn't like a 3-seater or a 2-seater.
Right. Yeah, it's different a little bit, but I refuse.
I love that. That's deep cut nerd conversation that just happened right there. But I like that. I do like that. There's 2 different Batmans, right? It's not a. They didn't change the origin. It's just it looks different, sort of like the Spider-Man thing, right?
That was the right move. I think
some multiverse things have the same person who's the same person.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, we're looking at you.
And then other multiverse things are like, yeah, but this person's a different human, but the same person. So I don't know how it works, but that's fine.
It doesn't matter. We were okay with it in Spider-Man, and we're definitely going to be okay with it with Michael Keaton, the like OG cinematic Batman coming in here.
I never thought I would see Michael Keaton back as Batman.
No,
I thought
did.
No, absolutely.
Craziest part.
A billion other things would happen before we would see this.
Well, yeah, it seems like logically you would have got Christian Bale back sooner than you could get Michael Keaton back because he's still young. Christian Bale isn't it. But then again, he said he wasn't going to do Superman movies anymore, and then he went ahead and played Gore in the new Thor, so he goes back on his word.
Yeah, that part's great. I like the Supergirl thing. Kind of it's a turn on the Superman being super skinny and stuff. It looks the same. It's got the same shot, that same room.
Yep.
That big white room. It's like literally shot. It's like the same exact shot.
For a second there, I literally thought, I was like, wow, are they doing another one where it's like skinny Superman? Because you couldn't quite tell it was a woman at first.
Oh yeah, I think that was the kind of the point. I think it'll be the same general idea.
Didn't like that.
That was loud. That was loud noise. I think it'll be the same general idea. She was locked away, but it's cool. I kind of wish that reveal would have saved until the movie, though. I think of everything they revealed in this trailer, I think that reveal I would have preferred to see in theaters.
Yeah. I also like the fact that they explain in the trailer that there are no metahumans on this planet, so therefore you can only have people like Batman, and then you can only have Kryptonians in the mix. So it's an interesting concept to me for a movie to see how that's going to play out, and how there's certain rules that they have to abide by. So you're not going to get like an Aquaman or any like a Wonder Woman or anything like that drop in. I don't know. It's almost like an addition by subtraction, almost in a way, and making the stakes higher than what they normally would be.
Yeah, this movie has Zod coming back, and whereas the original comic stuff is like a war that's happening.
Yeah.
Between like Themyscira and Aquaman and stuff. So that's interesting. I like Zod. I think he was a good actor. I'm glad he's back. I think it's cool. He's intimidating.
Yeah.
This is a much better return than him coming back as Doomsday. That was weird.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see Zod come back, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. Michael Shannon back as Zod. Yeah. Works for me.
Colin, we appreciate that you're hanging out with my brother, and no one asked you, so we're going to keep your comment to yourself because no one likes you anyway. Hope you guys are enjoying Disney World. I'm sure it's a ton of fun. All right, anything else I want to talk about? Flash, I think they gave away a little bit too much, but I don't know that.
Well, they went the reverse of what they did with Spider-Man, where everyone knew it was coming. They're like, oh, yeah, you're telling me that you got all the villains back, but not the other two Spider-Man? Okay. So they're like, we're just breaking the ice.
I think that's why I said I think the Michael Keaton was a good reveal. I would have kept a couple other things, but I don't know. Maybe they do have a couple of things up their sleeve that we don't know about. But I
think, Josh, it worked for the MCU for them to do that because everyone figured they were going to show up. They had to show up, and they showed up. They delivered. So now with Michael Keaton coming back, I mean, that's just a confirmation because DC doesn't have that goodwill with the MCU. Yeah. So, yeah, everyone's excited. Everyone's hyped. It's going to be great. Everyone says it's great. So we have high expectations going in, and I'm hyped for it. It's dropping this summer. We have a great summer to look forward to. Tons of films. It's going to be a great year for movies. So, and it's going to start this week with Quantumania. Quantumania dropped on Thursday.
I know, it's awesome.
I got my tickets. I'm excited. I'm hyped.
Yeah, I bought me and Coach's tickets last night. I'm super excited for Quantumania. Like this is like this year at first to me felt like this might be a little bit of a letdown compared to previous years in the superhero, I guess, universe. But the more and more that gets revealed, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is going to be another good year for Marvel, and finally a really good year for DC. I mean, they've had a couple of like firecracker movies, like Aquaman got $1 billion at the box office, Wonder Woman 1 did pretty well. And then the Batman did really well. So they have a handful of like good projects, but then they put out some garbage too. They're just like, oh yeah, let's put the Justice League out. That thing sucked. The original Suicide Squad movie sucked. So they have way more like a hit and miss. Like their hit and miss ratio is kind of crazy in comparison to Marvel. Like Marvel hasn't completely and utterly bombed anything, and DC cannot claim the same thing.
Yeah,
well, it feels like the WB meddles with the films. That's the other thing too. I mean,
that's always
they just don't keep the creative vision of the director. So there is a big Star Wars connection to the Flash film. Do you guys know what it is?
A Star Wars connection to the
pseudo
Flash.
Connection.
No, I
mean, other than the fact that Snyder is now directing like the Rebel Moon,
super close.
Oh, I hate everything that's happening right now. Pedro Pascal.
So the original director, it wasn't Andy Muschietti.
And Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, the original director was Rick Famuyiwa.
Oh, really?
The Mandalorian director. Yeah, he was set to direct.
I was never gonna pull that out. I'll be honest with you.
No, I wasn't either. But I was literally about to talk about Mando. That had a little bit of a drop.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a little bit down our alley. We didn't learn a whole lot of new information. It was very short, even like when you went and watched it online. You didn't learn much, but is there anything, as our Star Wars expert, that you think people should have noticed and be hyped about? Saw a trailer, you noticed it.
We do know it's gonna be bigger, more battles.
That's
epic.
definitely true.
There were more lightsabers. What's going on with that, David? Explain it to me.
That's really what I was
Apparently,
saying.
we're gonna get the backstory of how Grogu was saved from the Jedi Temple,
Okay.
and hopefully, we get the reveal of who actually was the character that saved Grogu. And we're all kind of hoping and wondering it's possibly missing-handed Mace Windu.
Yo, if they
I
made
know,
him
that
look
seems-
like
I don't
decrepit
think
and
so.
old and like
I don't think so.
electrocuted, yo, sign me up, dude.
Yeah. There's a lot of fan fiction, fan art for that, but yeah, there's gonna be we kind of talked about it like a long time ago in the podcast that Bo-Katan is gonna be probably the villain of
Yeah.
the Mandalorian season 3, and she's gonna be the heavy. She's gonna try and get the Darksaber.
Is
which
there
should be really fun.
Any chance Hayden Christensen comes back and does a fun little cameo of like
I think that's likely.
invading the temple? Well, yeah, they got him to come back for Kenobi, so it'd be weird if they didn't.
Well, he's coming back. It's just not confirmed that he's coming back for the Mandalorian. It's confirmed that he's coming back for Ahsoka. So he's going to be Darth
Well,
Vader
we knew that.
in Ahsoka.
We also,
So-
and we saw him.
And
in
he's going to be at Star
Obi-Wan.
Wars Celebration. He's going to actually be signing and doing photo ops, which he didn't last year for Celebration. So it seems like, and he's charging a whole lot of money, and it seems like he is going to be a factor going.
Well, David, since we
forward.
know you're going to pay that money, will you hold him at knife point and find out for us?
Or just like pen point. is
Pen
fine.
point, yeah. Pen knife though.
Or maybe
We don't
do
encourage
San Diego
any of
Comic
our
Con style with a
listeners.
compass. I don't know.
No, I'm kidding, and don't actually do that. That'd be really bad.
We
But yeah,
did- we will
it's-
be Hayden. I think he'll be. I think he will. I think we will see him in that flashback, even if it's just like in passing.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well, dude.
Yeah,
It's not like Disney has a budget. They have something they write down. They're like,
they
here's
have a
another
budget.
25 million just for funsies.
There's budgets. They just fired 7,000 people.
Yeah, but their budgets and projects like this are a joke. They're just like, it's just like
They're
one
huge, but
like.
I mean,
You just
you
gotta
got
give up
huge
puppy
actors.
dog guys for 5 seconds or get the fans a little upset, and they're like, all right, here's more money. I guess
It comes and goes sometimes in weird moments.
that's true.
I don't remember who it was. It was either Ray or Brooke. I remember posting on Facebook about how they're sick of continuously seeing Order 66 coming back. I think you gotta have Hayden, otherwise I'm over it.
yeah, I'm totally opposed to that opinion. I want to see more Order 66.
I
think
I want to
that's
see
one of
him
the pivotal
individually
points.
kill the younglings. I think they really robbed us of seeing that on
that
screen.
I agree with. More killing of children is the only way to redeem it. Like, actually, though, like I'm sick of the kids getting away. I feel like every time I see one in an animated show or a video game, they just
Yep.
show the kid getting away. Huh,
Turns out
kill that
Grogu
kid.
had a twin. Anakin chopped that thing in half. He was already
Oh.
short. It's even shorter now.
That's what I.
Anyway,
Pretty dark.
Yeah, Mando's gonna be exciting. I think the idea of a war is awesome. I think our Mando is gonna have a huge part to play, obviously, with the whole Darksaber thing and how that's gonna work out. And it's interesting because I don't know, lore wise, Mandalore isn't talked about really at all in the original trilogy, right? So we don't really
Right.
know if it had any sort of comeback, if it did it get even more destroyed in this second war. I don't think it's ever been confirmed.
I do know that I definitely have to
Okay.
watch those 2 episodes of Boba Fett that are just Mandalorian episodes because I haven't watched them yet.
Well, yeah, I believe in season 1 of Mandalorian they talk about Mandalore being turned to glass, basically. So, and then we see in the trailer the dome at the capital city on Mandalore, and that references the dome that we've seen in animation and Clone
Yeah.
Wars Rebels.
So what are the chances we get the muckwhackers from the Obi-Wan graphic novel we talked about?
There's
Go
Go check out
love.
that episode to get that joke.
Yeah.
Always a chance.
That'd
Shout
be
out to
cool.
Noah King Bates. What's up?
So yeah, I'm excited. I think everyone should really be excited for March 1st, which is the premiere date of The Mandalorian season 3 on Disney
Which,
Plus.
like, Josh, you got to go watch those 2 episodes of Boba Fett.
Dude,
Don't
I
watch
know.
Boba Fett. Just go watch those 2 episodes.
I know, but like I started Andor before I finally was like, all right, and then I was like, you know what? Instead of watching more Boba Fett that I started a year ago, I'm
And
gonna
those
watch
2
some
episodes
Andor.
that Coach is referring to are magical, Josh.
They're so
What
good.
what
They're
episodes
really good.
are they within the series? Because I think I
4
watched
and
the
5?
first. Okay, so I can skip
You
3.
might-
All right, I'll write
might.
that down.
Am I right on that? Could be.
The very last one is the finale, so no. The one, I guess 7 and 6, episode 7 and 6.
It doesn't
episode
matter.
season, I believe. So, yeah, they're really good, Josh.
Guys,
They're
I don't have
really
high
good.
confidence that I'm going to do it, but I'll try my best for you.
You really.
I've been
have
too
to,
busy
like-
watching The Last of Us, and actually, I haven't watched Friday's episode yet. So I'm.
I
You're
was
right,
just
you're
watching it when you pinged me about this podcast.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good show. Shout out Pedro Pascal once again.
Yeah.
God, he's so good. Did you guys watch him play just gritty Mario in the SNL skit? That was great.
Yeah.
That is so good. That's so good.
That was really good.
The
I
only thing
actually liked the table skit, the table that was shaking. He was just like,
Oh my
cracking
God,
up.
were none of all of them cracked? Bowen Yang, who's like the pro, is just
Yeah,
dying.
we never see Bowen Yang crack.
No,
and
Bowen
he
doesn't
was-
crack because he's
Yeah.
so funny. But yeah, the fact that like Pedro Pascal couldn't get a line out, and he's just like, okay, this is over. Like, there's
I
no saving
think-
this. It's all done.
I think they never rehearsed the table actually moving violently.
That's probably
So there was
what it
somebody
is.
under there just like shaking the table.
God, that thing is funny. Other trailers that they
Cocaine Bear.
showed. Cocaine
talk-
Bear. Did they
That was
actually
the
show a
first one, I
trailer for
think.
that? No, I
They
didn't watch
did.
it.
I mean, I've seen it's the same.
I think it was
trailer they've
before
been showing.
kickoff.
It's the same trailer they've
right
been
after.
showing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dumb. I think
Gotta
it's gonna make a lot
Han
of money.
Solo was in it. Young Han
Who is
Solo.
it?
Yeah.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Oh,
Oh,
the
yeah.
young Solo. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's gonna make a lot of money, but it just looks stupid.
Who?
I don't care.
And one of the characters from Obi-Wan. Trying to remember his name. I don't want to call him Ice Cube's son, even though he is Ice Cube's son. But
Oh, that seems like the perfect
It's
name.
Mini Ice Cube. Then I mean,
If he,
what's
if he kills
Smaller
it, Cocaine
cube.
Bear,
pixel? Ice
then we'll learn
pixel
his
is that
name.
smaller than a cube?
and then Ray Liotta's last film too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he was great in Blackbird. If you guys haven't watched that Apple TV show, I would highly recommend that. But other Super Bowl things, Scream, I didn't watch it. I think they got
Don't care.
the chick from Wednesday
Not a
though, so
horror
that's
guy,
cool.
so-
I just watched the last Scream this past weekend, and I thought I was thinking it was the new Scream. I was trying to like tell my kids, I was like, "How is this out now? How are we watching it now?" And they're like, "Just watch it."
Yeah,
they won in New
Dun-
York, and the new one will be in New York apparently.
Dungeons and Dragons, that just
Again, I don't care.
barely
Did they have a
eclipsed.
trailer?
I guess,
Yes, Dungeons
according to
Dragons
this,
Honor-
but
yeah.
it barely eclipses my interest in like nerddom. It's just like just beyond what I care about. So I
It
can't,
looks
I
like a
can't do
fun
it.
movie though.
It
looks
does look
really
fun, but unless someone buys me a ticket, I'm not going to.
I mean, I watched Warcraft.
come on,
I think it
Josh.
looks as good as Warcraft.
David,
I mean,
feel free to buy me a ticket. Then we can
Come on,
podcast
God.
about
You
it.
got to go watch it. I mean, it's D&D, Chris Pine.
Yeah, I never played D&D. People have been trying to get me to do it.
Well, I
for
never
years, though.
did either, but I mean, still, it's cool.
no,
Air.
I mean,
That's the other one I wanted to talk about because
Yeah, this
actually
is-
that one looks good.
Yes.
It's not pop. It's not
Yes.
like
that's
nerdy
true.
pop
Feel
culture.
free to log off now and stop listening to us.
Yeah,
but
we're
I'm
done talking about the
gonna
stuff
nerd
you
out
care
for a
about.
second.
Oh yeah, Ben Affleck directing. Yeah,
Batman, hello, that is associated.
Yeah,
with
and
what we're talking about.
Matt Damon starring. The fact that Ben Affleck's finally like
Viola Davis, Amanda
Viola
Waller.
Davis is gonna
It's
be
insane,
sick too.
actually, like
It's a
the-
good cast.
The cast
It's pretty
is-
much a Marvel DC joint, you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they would say
Well,
that, but
at some point we got to stop saying that because everyone's been cast in a Marvel or DC movie.
Yeah.
At
I
this
know, but it
point.
means that we, the Marvel Stuff Podcast, get an excuse to talk about whatever we want. That's really the key.
Why? So Ben Affleck's Batman. That's our excuse here.
That's our excuse.
Well, he was Daredevil. There we go.
He was Daredevil.
We
so-
got there.
Daredevil, Batman. He was also Superman too.
Yeah, for
For a split second.
yeah, it was like the documentary thing on what's his face. Anyway,
Air. Air looks fun. It looks cool. It looks interesting. I think
Yes.
It's
I mean,
an Amazon film, but it's going to be in theaters.
You have to. I mean, Netflix does the same thing. I mean, what was it? Glass Onion that did a theatrical release, and then it was out a
Yeah, but
little
it's
bit
like a
later.
2-week run, so you can get award consideration, I believe.
I think that is correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously its cast looks great. It's a really interesting story. I think a lot of these stories end up being interesting. You know, you think about Moneyball, movies like that, where you wouldn't think it's about the sport, but it's about the tertiary things around it.
Ooh, Wolf of Wall
And-
Street. That's a good one.
But the story of how Michael Jordan is a billionaire is about this. It's literally
Yep.
this right here. This fact that he got his own brand. They bet on a kid.
I didn't know that he was a rookie when they signed him. I really did not know that. So that's gonna be
Wasn't
fun
even
for
going to
me
be the
to
first
adventure.
pick. Wasn't even going to be the first pick, and they still they just knew there's something about the way he played was magic. I think it's going to be interesting.
I don't think that's the actual story.
Is it not? Okay, well,
I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. That doesn't sync well with what I remember. I think Nike was fortuitous and lucky for him to drop because I think Michael Jordan originally wanted to do a deal with Adidas.
Yes.
And Adidas messed up and they didn't want to sign him. So Nike was like his fallback. I think it was Nike and another company that were his fallbacks, and Nike was like, "Yeah, we're nobody." Nike was essentially like what Puma is now, just kind of like third rung.
I don't wear my Pumas. I got the Batman edition Pumas that I wear every day. But yeah, you're right. They're definitely
But yeah, I love that was my childhood in the '90s was Michael Jordan watching the Bulls play on WGN every time they play.
I see your Facebook arguments all the time, David. I see you.
You're one to talk, Coach. Being friends with you two is just like, which one of them is throwing slander at the most nearest comment person that disagrees with their opinion?
All day. I love it. You got to put people in their place. Let them know.
I disagree. I don't.
That looks fun. It looks fun.
Yeah, you're wrong, but I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, and then I move on with my day.
Yeah, I had nothing else to move on to other than this podcast, which we only film once a week, so I got to kill the rest of the time. Yeah, I think this movie looks fun. I think it looks fun. It's cool. It's interesting. If you want to just watch something that's going to be interesting, this I think will satiate you.
I think lastly there was a quick Ant-Man Heineken thing. No one really cared about it, but that's
I've seen
okay.
that commercial a few times, but
it was only the fact that I was going to relay it to Ant-Man theme week coming on this podcast Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're having an Ant-Man related episode. Coach's daughter was featured on Wednesday's episode, so that's going to be fun for you guys to listen to, including David. David listens to every episode, right?
Yep, in my car when I'm delivering. Yep.
Oh, he actually does. I thought I was.
I try and comment in between my deliveries, but yeah.
It's all right. We love
it. Every time it pops up on live, I try and hit it on my phone, and it goes through my speakers.
I like how you're always live on Star Wars Stuff podcast, but you're only on the podcast like 1 out of every 5 times I click on it.
Yeah, there's a weird thing with StreamYard. I can't take my name off.
I know.
Yeah, mine always says I'm going live now.
Yeah,
so I get it.
Yeah, people have told me a lot of stuff about that. They're like, well, we thought we were going to see you, but like family will be like, I saw your name, but you weren't there. Do you really have a podcast?
Yeah, but I'll have you know that one of our earliest comment/reviews was like, I'm here for David. Where's David? And then you're like, I don't even know who that person is. I was like, well, David's gone. I killed him. He's in the basement.
But I got to say this, guys. After the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, we all know that Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, he's a big KC Chiefs fan.
He's a huge Chiefs fan.
He was on the field, and I had no idea he had an older son. NFL Network, I believe it was Peter Schrager, did an interview on the field. He goes to Paul Rudd first. He gives his comment. Then he goes to, I think, Jake Rudd. He looks a lot like his dad and sounds exactly like a young Paul Rudd. Same mannerisms, too. It is weird.
Listen, all I'm saying is if Paul Rudd was a real fan, he would have grown to 50 feet wearing his Chief gear, and then he would have. That's really how you prove your loyalty to a football team.
That would have been cool. Yeah, that would have been cool. Good moment.
Yeah.
This is fun. This was a fun time. The Super Bowl was fun. The football was fun, but I thought I enjoyed the commercials this year.
Yeah. Halftime show was it was fun. Rihanna's really she's a good artist. So sweet.
She was super pregnant. Good job
Yep,
by
definitely
her.
pregnant. And she just keeps bringing out hits, and you can see why she's either I think she's either the highest paid or like she's made the most money out of any female artist, or she's top 3 or something like that. It's kind of crazy.
And ironically,
no, I think she is more than Beyonce if I recall correctly.
Good, suck it, Beyonce.
Yeah, and all the halftime performers don't get paid. Did you guys?
I did know that. I didn't know that.
Do. They do now, I believe. I believe that actually changed like 3 years ago.
I think I read a thing that said Apple Music or Apple that now does the halftime show.
Was that
helps out with the cost? Yeah, I think it's the first Apple.
This is the first Apple one, right? It's always been Pepsi until this year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So maybe Apple doesn't. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know Pepsi did. No cameos though. I didn't like the no cameo thing. I like when they have cameos.
I did think it was weird that she did run this town and Jay-Z was literally in the stadium.
Where was Kanye?
Well, I didn't think Kanye was going to show up, but
yeah, no one thought he
could have
was
brought Jay up.
That would have been cool.
I don't know. Problematic at best.
Then Ezra Miller walks out as the
I'm sure they'd get along swimmingly. All right, that was a fun podcast, guys. Don't cancel Marvel stuff.
No, enjoy Ant-Man week. Enjoy us. Like I said, listen to our podcast. We'll do a review right after. We'll do a full review. It's going to be awesome. Don't have too much fun until then.